Hello again. We're going to talk about chapter 16, which is about information technology. And this is probably one of these chapters you probably know more about it than I do, to be honest with you. As I mentioned to you in previous chapters, we are going to go over a lot of terms, but very little of those terms. Again, survey course. When you go more into IT-based classes, you'll go into a lot of these topics more. Now, some of the topics that we're covering you're going to know already, and I'm just going to skate through them. So, just give you an idea about how I'm going to approach this chapter. So, information technology, information's been around forever. The technology to manage that information hasn't been around forever. Um, yes, we've had computers around for since the 1960s, even earlier than that, but it really didn't come into its own until about the mid 1990s. And so, what it does is allows us to decipher information, help us make decisions, store data. And so these are things that I know you know, but just needs to be said. Hardware and software, I think you know. Hardware is your computer. Software is the programs that you use within the computer, like Excel, Word, PowerPoint. Um, in this case, you probably watch this on YouTube. That YouTube would be a software as well. The internet, I know you know what the internet is. You're on it right now. I'm not going to worry about that. Intranet is a network within an organization. So can you think of it like an internet within a company's boundaries. That's an intranet. IT has developed its role in organizations in probably the last 30 years. And in regards to the strategic role, you can see here about the technologies to help you make key decisions. We'll talk about a couple of those in just a couple of minutes. In regards to operational role, face it, we can't do anything without IT these days. And so whether we're firing up a computer to work in a cell, whether we're doing recordings for videos like this, or you're watching this video and maybe you're watching it at school, at home, whatever, you still need information and technology in order to access this. So it's everywhere. And so one piece of advice I want to give you is that always make friends with the IT group. Okay. They can make or break your day. So just always remember that. And just wave when you see them, say hello, make friends with them. All right, cloud computing. If you're using Microsoft Excel, they have the OneDrive where you just put all your files into the cloud and you can access it from anywhere. So you can see one of the first points here is that you can access an array of computing resources. You can do that. You can your software programs, your files. You can do that. You have lower costs and access capacity. Absolutely. I mean, it's the cloud. So there's going to be quite a bit of storage. Yes, you can buy extra storage. I have yet to know anyone from a personal level that has had to buy extra storage for their iCloud account. What we're seeing as a result of this, though, is a lot of buildings for data mining, where huge operations are being built. Like, for example, Microsoft in Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin. They are building one of the largest ones in the country for data storage. The problem is these things take a lot of energy, a lot of power, and so the infrastructure has to be modernized to keep up with the demands that's required of these data centers. So that's one of the things that you should keep an eye on is that how the communities are handling the excess demand, the extra demand of electricity, and putting a strain on their lines. Okay. Data, I think you know this. Data is just simply numbers, facts, figures. The database is where we align them together. They make sense. They tell a story, or we're trying to decipher a story from the database. So we got our data, got information, we put it into a database in some sort of logical flow to how these numbers should look. Characteristics of good information. When you do research, this is you're going to see some of this when you are working with IT. Obviously, work with this as well. Your information has to be accurate. We have to make sure that what we're what we are accumulating is true, is accurate, and information that maybe we get from a secondary source is accurate as well. Now, you heard me talk about why, information for research and IT. In regards to IT, we're storing this information, so we have to make sure that we're storing accurate data. All right, so timely, we don't want to use information from the 1990s for a current research project. People change, times change, it just doesn't make sense. So what I recommend and what I was taught when I was going for my dissertation is that data no more than 5 years. Now in IT, that typically changes to 1 year because the information technology space changes rapidly. And so what could be current a year ago may be, not so current a year later. Um, this decision support systems, what this does is, you get this idea, you have all this data, you have this information, and what does it mean? Well, you could get programs like Excel on a smaller scale. I forgot that Microsoft has one too, and I forgot what it was. But anyway, these are programs that help you decipher the information. Okay? And consider it almost like a data analytics, where you take this information, have the data tell a story, and then you can make your decisions based on that, based on your analysis. Data warehousing, we talked about this a little bit earlier with the large cloud systems. These systems, the cloud systems, and also the buildings that house these cloud systems, this is a data warehouse. You're able to extract your data from the cloud and hopefully do work with it and hopefully do it accurately. That because you have timely data. Data mining is software, again, where we can dig in and dive, and again, data analytics. If you're thinking about a majoring, wondering, what can I do? What do? Analytics is huge because there's always going to be need for deciphering information. There's always going to be need for gathering this information, having a story to be told. And that's what data mining is about. Expert systems, not going to worry too much about this. Uh, you can see how mimics an expert approach. You can kind of say, hey, Rich, this IT. I'm not IT, I'm sorry. Is this AI? Yes, you could consider that AI. Um, One of the things that I want to caution you on is that, yeah, AI can do a lot of the functions, but there's also many functions it can't do as well. So you don't want to rely 100% on it. But you get you to a starting point and use AI to augment your decisions and augment your jobs. Don't use it to replace your job or to do your job. E-commerce, we cover these two concepts in marketing. Business to consumer, that's where we have our product. We're selling it to direct to consumer. So like I sell water bottles. You can go to richeswaterbottles.com. I'm making this up. Richeswaterbottles.com, order a bottle, and then I send it to you. That's business to consumer. And so that's more for consumption base. And then also business to business, just a review. That's where I sell one product from my business to your business, and you use that product as part of your final product, a component of putting your final product together. So B2C, B2B. Chat rooms, I think you have a pretty idea what chat rooms are and discussion channels. I'm not going to get into that. Digital advertising. This is a phenomenon that has occurred probably about the last 20 years or so, and it's a different way of reaching individuals. And you can see the components here. You're very, very familiar with this. The search engine optimization, yes, you go into Yahoo and you can get information that way and try to find out things about products. Um, the social media often with targeting tools, yeah, you look at something and all before you know it, you have an advertisement almost close or not the exact same thing that you just looked at. So I know it's kind of annoying, but that's happening. It's the way marketers are getting to you, and they can do this through digital advertising. Digital wallet, PayPal, Apple Wallet is another one. You can do that. I have my credit card on Apple Wallet or Apple Pay. Anyway, but it's one of those things that makes things convenient, and people have this, so it's an easier way to exchange money, especially if you are going out to dinner. It's like multiple people going out to dinner. and restaurants usually want just one tab. So instead of trying to have the cash or these credit cards and pay someone later, you just go to PayPal, and then you can give the people the money right away. I think you have a pretty idea of what a e-marketplace is. It's just basically think of it like a mall online. Is that you can exchange your products. eBay, for example, is an example of marketplace. Amazon to some degree, because they have a lot of independent sellers that are part of Amazon, that would be considered an e-marketplace as well. Malware. Just be careful with this. Make sure that your computer is updated with the most current software possible to prevent any type of activities. Um, I can tell you that my my virus protection program has saved me a couple times because as you know, as a teacher, there's a lot of science being turned in online, and so I can catch a computer virus from a student who don't even know they even have the virus, and so it can work that way. So I've been saved a couple times in that regard. A computer virus again can spread from one computer to another without the knowledge. That's what I was just telling you, and that's one of the issues that I have to deal with. But again, I have the software to help prevent that to come or help prevent that happen. So I strongly recommend it for you as well. Spam, I think you know what that is. It's just basically unsolicited advertisements. You get this in email, you get this in text. You can even get this probably as you are browsing. A hacker, I think have a pretty good idea about firewall too. Firewall prevents you from or someone else from going into another database, into a system such as a school or into a business. You have to have passwords. Sometimes you have to have more than two passwords to get into a product or facility. It's like multi-tier authorization. So these firewalls protect the organizations from outside entities. And as we wrap this up, you take a look at the personal privacy. Yes, firms are tracking you. The idea of privacy anymore is over. Where you go on the internet is being tracked. What you buy is being tracked. Um, People that you talk to probably is being tracked. And so what they're trying to do is give you more information, but have to determine, is it worth my privacy to get all this information? I told you before in previous classes where like Panera, for example, will text me information about sales they're having or to buy products or foods, buy one, get one half off. So I gave them my phone number. So I traded my privacy for the chance of these deals. And I'm sure many of you have done that as well. Okay, so that is our discussion on chapter 16. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you enjoyed the discussions throughout the class. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Have yourself a terrific day. Take care.